The Island of Whispering Shells. Mila lived in a small seaside village where the ocean was always calm and friendly. Every morning, she walked along the sand collecting seashells of all shapes and colors. Some were smooth and white, others were bright pink or deep orange. She kept them in a wooden box under her bed, believing each one held a secret story of the sea. One warm afternoon, Mila found a strange shell unlike any she had ever seen. It was large, shaped like a spiral, and shimmered with blue and silver tones. When she lifted it to her ear, expecting to hear the usual sound of waves, she heard something different, a soft whisper calling her name. Surprised, Mila held the shell tighter. The whisper came again, gentle but clear. It told her to follow the tide to a hidden place on the far side of the beach. Mila's heart beat fast, not with fear but with excitement. She loved mysteries, and she felt the sea was inviting her on an adventure. She walked along the shore until the sand turned rocky and the waves grew stronger. Few people ever came to this part of the beach. The wind blew harder, carrying the salty smell of deep water. Mila held the shell close, listening for more whispers. The voice guided her toward a small cave hidden behind tall stones. Water washed softly at its entrance, and inside it was dim but welcoming. Mila stepped in carefully, her footsteps echoing lightly against the rock walls. She felt the air grow cooler and heard a humming sound moving gently through the space. At the back of the cave, she found a round pool of clear water glowing with pale blue light. The surface shimmered as if touched by moonlight, even though the sun was still high outside. Mila knelt down and dipped her fingers into the pool. The water felt warm and comforting. Suddenly, the shell in her hand vibrated softly. A voice rose from it again, telling her that the pool was a gateway to the Island of Whispering Shells, a magical place where the ocean kept its memories. The voice said the island appeared only to a kind heart that listened carefully to the sea. Before Mila could react, the water formed a gentle spiral, pulling her forward. She didn't feel afraid, only curious. When she opened her eyes again, she found herself standing on a shore of white sand under a sky brighter than she had ever seen. Seashells covered the beach, glowing in soft colors like tiny lanterns. The air was filled with music, soft, delicate melodies that came from the shells themselves. Each shell whispered a story. Tales of sailors, sea creatures, ancient storms, and peaceful sunsets. Mila listened in wonder, feeling as if she were hearing the ocean's memories come alive. She walked along the island, touching shells that told stories of brave turtles traveling the world, dolphins helping lost boats, and waves carrying messages from distant lands. Mila felt joy and warmth in her heart as she listened to each one. At the center of the island, she found a giant shell shaped like a throne. It glowed with golden light. When Mila touched it, the ocean's voice spoke clearly, thanking her for listening with kindness. It told her that the sea shared its stories only with those who truly cared. The light grew brighter, and Mila felt herself lifted gently. In a blink, she stood back inside the cave, the glowing pool now calm and still. The shell in her hand had lost its shimmer, but it was warm, like a friend saying goodbye. Mila walked home slowly, feeling peaceful. She knew the island would remain a secret memory, something too magical to explain. But from that day on, whenever she walked the beach, the shells seemed to whisper a little louder, as if they now trusted her with all their stories.